Let's see. Oh, we are here. What is going on, everybody? What is popping? All right. So listen, it has been a while since we have had another installment of Boys Chat. However, we're here with the third episode, and I got some boys from around the way, around the world, around the places. Okay, and we are going to get into some things. All right, I'm so excited. Some of them you've seen before, maybe some of them you haven't, but you're going to get to know them. They're my boys, and we're going to get into some things. All right, we're talking about, in a nutshell, it's like toxic mindsets, toxic things that us gays go through, and we're gonna be breaking some things down. You guys have been asking for this episode, and a lot of you guys really like it. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful and I'm happy to be able to present this to you and to have a conversation. So if you're a returning subscriber, then you know how this thing goes. And if you're a new subscriber, well, welcome and hello. And without further ado, we don't get into some things. So let me introduce my boys. First, started off with Miles. What's poppin', Miles?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, Armon.
Yes. Okay. So tell the people a little bit about you, where you come from, what you do, who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Miles Spears. I live in South Florida, born and raised in the South Florida area. It's a different country over here. I'm a webcam model. I've been webcamming since about 19. That's the only official occupation I've ever had in my whole life. So my view on things is a little different. I never really worked a job before, a typical one, but I just been, I'm a free spirit. I kind of go with the wind and things like that. Yes.
Okay. They were saying that, okay. They were saying that the quality was bad. Are we good now?
I think we're good now. Your quality was bad, but it's
okay. Mine, I look bad now, or am I good?
It's good now.
Okay. Ciao. Here I go. You never know. This is that StreamYard-ish. I hate StreamYard. But yeah, all right. Thank God. Because I was telling y'all, make sure the quality is good. And here I go, pixelated. All right. Okay, boom. We got Sean. What's up, Sean?
What's up? What's going on, y'all?
They've seen you before, but tell them who you are. You know what I'm saying? You know what you do. You do a lot of stuff, so they need to know.
I do a little bit of everything. My name is Sean. I am from San Antonio, Texas. Right now I'm in Dallas, chilling in Texas or whatever. I'm a mental health therapist along with an author of several different books, so I do a bunch of things.
Well, that's good. And we're happy to have your expertise and all of the things that you come with on the show.
Of course. Right. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And then last but not least, Jalon, aka J-Lo in the house.
Yo. What's up, y'all? What's up?
All right. What's poppin'? Oh, go ahead. You ready? Go ahead.
Okay, what's up? I'm Jalon. I'm from Virginia. I'm a PR student, and I study communications. And you know what I'm saying? I'm looking into becoming a host and a personality myself. So I'm happy to be here, ready to get into some things myself. So,
all right, let's do it. And so before we start, guys, I want to allow you guys. You see how Jalon has his Cash App in the for the chat. You see how he has his Cash App? If you guys would like to donate, please donate directly to the boys on the chat. So if you guys want to let the people know what your Cash App is, they can, because I want them to donate directly to you. Do not super chat me. Send it to them. Okay.
My Cash App is Miles Spears with the $ in front. So that name right there.
My Cash App is $T as in t-shirt, Sean like my name, SHAWN 772.
Okay. Yes. So maybe the moderator could put that in. We'll pin that. All right. So without further ado, on this good Sunday, I want to know how you guys are doing getting into the new year.
The New Year's been great for me. It's been magical. I mean, been feeling all the positive vibes. Last New Year's for me, it was very chaotic. I got into a car accident like 2 days after New Year started. So I was without a car for like 5 months. And
I mean, you started it with a bang.
Yeah, exactly. So this year is a little more calm, very peaceful. It's like I'm in a different place. Like, great. Love it.
Yeah. Same for me too. It's been coming along real smooth, you know what I'm saying? Taking it one day at a time, enjoying this little break I'm on till I'm back in school. So
right, because you're in school right now. So how does that work with the whole coronavirus and stuff?
Man, everything online right now. So You know, I'm loving it. Shit, I'm chilling at home, doing my work. You know what I'm saying? My own thing. So I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah, you're good then.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Mine is pretty good. I mean, I started off with the STEMI this year, early in the year. So, I mean, I can't complain at all. You know, I'm an essential worker, so we never stop working. So I'm working through Corona and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully you don't catch it because, you know, that shit is getting wilder still by the day, by the week. I've had several family members that's still catching it and friends that still catching it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sending coverings of blessings to you.
Of course.
For me,
yeah. Thanks.
The new year, I'm still stuck in this cast. So, I mean, I can't really go anywhere. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I made it. I'm happy to be alive. So, you know, I'm doing what I love to do. But, you know, we're here. We're here. I'm still gaining weight and not able to walk. I'm here.
That quarantine weight.
Don't stress that you're healing. Like, it's not important.
Yes, it's very much that quarantine weight. It's very much that I can't go walk. I can't go drive. I can't do anything. Yes. But yeah, so let's just get into these topics. Who wants to go first? Because y'all got some interesting topics today.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay. So today I wanted to talk about the topic I feel like everyone needs to know about because I see so many people starving themselves, cleaning themselves for hours at a time. But I want to talk about what is the best diet for bottoms and how to make it easier to prepare for penetrative intercourse, basically.
Okay. See, that's some valuable information. You're gonna save a lot of people.
Exactly.
So, we would have
fiber. Let's start there.
Let's
fiber.
start there.
You need some fiber for one.
Okay.
You need some fiber in your diet.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Because about 11. Exactly. Because the thing is, about 95% of Americans don't get enough fiber. And so while you can also, something to be noted is you can get enough fiber, and someone who's a vegan like myself or plant-based, however you want to call it, I've experienced getting too much fiber and it's not fun either. But the fact is, majority of people don't get enough fiber. So in order to incorporate more fiber, you know, while there is no perfect diet for bottoming.
So do you know, like, I got a question. Yeah. So do you know where the average American, like if they weren't plant-based, where they could find their own fiber?
Yeah, well,
like in what types of foods?
You can be plant-based and still eat meat because plant-based doesn't mean vegan. You know, so you can be plant-based, you know, just eat more fibrous things, or you can take a fiber supplement. It takes about 24 to like 72 hours for food to reach to your reach through your digestive tract. But of course, most Americans only get about 16 grams of fiber per day. When you need
what about the good old dish? Is that not just like you just dish
well,
and you what's the problem with the dish?
Just dish and go.
No, not just to go. Because here's the thing. I feel like
just wait a little bit. And then
I think you need to wait a couple of hours. Like I think being a bottom, you need to plan it out. Because if you gush and then you try to go, it's gonna start breaking things up, and then it'll be liquidy and it'll still come out. So the tea is this: you really like when I was on my when I used to go do my thing. We're just gonna talk about it. When I used to go fuck bottoms and shit like that. When I want to fuck, it's the best time to really get them like right early in the morning. Like, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
It's the best time because you don't get no accidents. Like if you want to fuck, make sure it don't matter. Just get them right in the morning. Just turn over and stick it in because throughout the day you run a risk, especially if it's a relationship situation and y'all have, you run the risk of accident. Okay,
right. I like that. It rhymes a little bit. You run the risk of accidents.
Something that needs to be noted: what you eat through the day doesn't necessarily reach your rectal area where the defecate resides, but it's in your colon. It's not in your rectal area. Your second hole, that's where your colon is,
Isn't that what the douche is cleaning though?
Yes, but here's the thing. There's no perfect diet for bottoming, but the thing people need to understand is it's better to work in collaboration with your body and eat more fibrous things versus just relying on trying to perform enemas on yourself,
Okay, so what do you, because we need to get into it. So who's the bottom on stage?
Well, me.
Okay, so what do you do? What are your techniques to stay clean? Because two of you are in relationships and one of you are single.
So
me,
I always do in the morning. That's me in the morning. Simple as that. In the morning, you plan it. In my head, I plan it. I'll go in the morning, I'll do it, and then I'll watch what I'm eating. You know, also, I think consistently eating unhealthy food or like greasy food, that's gonna keep everything stuck to that track. Like I don't know all the scientifics like Miles, but that's my experience with that, you know.
Right. Well, people also need to understand we got two types of fibers. For example, I'm plant-based, so usually I wake up in the morning, I instantly go to as soon as
To the bathroom, right?
go to the bathroom, So it's pretty quick for me. I always get my food out. I see what I ate the day before it. So I can tell you 24 to 72 hours, that can be a long time, for me. But for y'all, it's kind of normal because you guys, eat the meats, the cheeses, and things like that. So if you eat more fiber, it will happen faster, and you won't have to put so much water in your body. You can work in collaboration with yourself instead of just impacting a bunch of, meats and cheeses and fried foods. And it's not just about it being meat or cheese. It's about it having fiber, because you can have a vegan diet and not get any fiber. Trust me, but what I do is I go to the bathroom normally, and I'm pretty clean. It's a pretty consistent bathroom thing. I'm always seeing what I'm eating. When you eat fiber, you're always seeing the fiber come out. So it's pretty simple. I don't really have to watch. When I'm bottoming, though, I don't go and have a pizza that day or a Chipotle.
Okay.
That's where I was about to go.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
So me personally, when I know I'm about to get something, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll wake up, I'm gonna eat light. I might not eat anything. I might eat some fruit, some gummy worms. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
some gummy worms for breakfast.
Just some
that's
light
a special
shit
diet
day,
breakfast.
Just something light through the day, just to hold you off. Maybe some Lay's chips.
Is what I've been trying to say is the food that you're eating through the day is not what's going to be you're going to be dealing with when you're trying to clean yourself necessarily. And I mean, unless you're eating a plant-based diet. Normally, that for me, okay, I eat quinoa, I see it the next morning. That's a great clearing net. It just clears out my stomach real good. But for most people who have certain who don't eat enough fiber, it's not really about what you're eating that day. It's kind of about what you ate yesterday.
Right.
So
you said if you're going to plan it, so you said if you're going to plan it,
2 hours. 2 to 5 days.
Wait a minute. So you need to. So basically, you need to schedule an appointment. You need to pin an appointment to be able to fuck. That's basically what that is.
Right. That's what I'm getting.
That's pretty right.
If you have a diet that works in collaboration with your body, you don't need to pin an appointment so far in advance.
But everybody's not going to be vegan.
No, you don't have to be vegan.
Or plant-based.
Diet. It's about having enough balance of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and fiber. It's not about being vegan. You can get all those things and still eat animals. I recommend not eating dairy in general for all people, because if you don't know, dairy is white people food. So white people, they need that shit to survive. Excuse me. They needed that to survive.
You guys can curse on this show. This is a cursing show. We talking about sex. Yeah, we can curse on this show. Unfiltered.
Yeah, so everyone needs more fiber. And basically the foods that contain more fiber: almonds, walnuts, apples with skin, pears with skin. That's what I said, the health of the fruit is in the skin or whatever. Beans, but also something to know is insoluble fibers, which you need more of. So things like quinoa will really clear you out. For me, instead of taking a fiber supplement, before I have sex, 2 days before or a day before, I like to have quinoa because it clears me right out. It's a natural way to just clear myself out. Even if you eat meat and cheese, that will clear you out. Okay. So get the foods.
So on a percentage,
you can be using an enema.
On a percentage of 0 to 100%, how effective has this been for you? Have you had any slip-ups at all? Or would you say that with your plant-based diet, this actually has worked consistently?
The slip-ups I've had has been like, maybe water will come out of me.
Okay.
Or sometimes I eat too much or a lot of fiber, and I'm getting fucked, and there's orange on his dick, like orange, like pulp on his dick. Like
wait. Now talking about that. Now let's get to the painting part of it, because people do paint. I've painted before. If you've been fucked long enough, you've been painted, or you've painted. So the thing is, why is there such a stigma of like being shamed if you paint. Like that happens, especially in relationships. Now, the other question is, should single people be painting?
No, because you have time
versus
to
people in
prepare.
relationship.
You have time to prepare. Like you should know better. Exactly. You should know better. You know, going into this situation or whatever, you have the time to prepare. Y'all don't live together. You can handle that. But when you're in a relationship, you're around them 24/7. You can't always, you know, be ready per se.
What you
literally shit happens.
Shit happens.
What are you painting with though? If you're painting with brown sludge, yeah, it's gonna freak me out. But if you see a little orange or like a little pulp from an orange or a couple pulps from an orange, you're not gonna be like, oh my god, like you're gonna be like, oh wow, there's fruit coming from his booty. Like cool, like it's not that serious in the heat of the moment. But brown sludge, yeah, it's gonna stop some things. If you should know there's brown sludge inside of you. But if it's just like a little thing where some water leaks out, there shouldn't be any shaming going on.
For the women in the chat, painting is shitting, basically. If you ended up, you know, painting the penis brown or whatever, you know, it's like
when
some
you
shit
started,
you know, that's what it's called. You paint. So I agree. I agree though. If you're single, you don't get a lot of painting passes. If you're in a relationship, you get more painting passes, but it's not a free for all paint. But typically, you know what I'm saying? But
it's not a painting sip.
But at the same time, though, as a person who predominantly fucks, sometimes I know what I'm getting myself into, and sometimes I don't give a fuck. You know, not like I want to, but sometimes I understand the risk that I'm taking. So I'll just be like, you know what, bitch, I need to fuck real quick. We'll just get it going. I love you anyway. Whatever. Boom. But
I think for a person that's had experience bottoming, I think they're a little bit more forgiving when it comes to that. I feel like a lot of gays that are just straight tops that have never had that experience they're less forgiving because they don't know what that takes and what you go through, you know?
Yeah.
Or if they're just less experienced in general, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the experienced top will know what's up. You know, he'll be cool with it. Well, not
That's
cool,
true.
but you know what I'm saying? He won't mind it. You know,
he'll understand. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be more understanding.
But why do bottoms get shamed so much? Like, because if you look on social media or just in group chats, it's always like, "Oh, girl," that's the first thing somebody will say. Like, if they have a session with you, "Oh, girl, she paints." "Oh, girl, you know, she paints." She paints.
It's probably a constant thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's just a stigma.
And it is,
you know. I feel like it is a stigma, and just like we're talking about it, that sheds light to the fact that everybody does in some form or fashion. So the more that we make it less of a stigma, the more that those kind of words aren't as hurtful. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because that's the first thing you can attack a bottom with, and it destroys their reputation. You know, their sex reputation, whatever. You know?
Absolutely. And then their confidence and self-esteem and all that shit.
What kind of painting are we doing to be, you know, if you painted somebody and you know it's like a thick sludge, you shouldn't be that. Like, or someone like, if it's like a little bit or like some water comes out, maybe they're in a rush, they rush to come to you. Okay, don't shame them for that. They were rushing, they're trying to get ready for you, or some fiber comes out or something comes out. A little bit or a whole paint, though. When we say paint, we mean a full coat. So what is it?
But to be fair, you know, some lubricants and stuff like that actually promote that. So if you are going to be having sex, you know, not the same kind of lubricants that work for straight people don't work sometimes for gay people. So you actually need to look that up. You know what I'm saying? Because then you will have sludge all over.
Do you still use? People still use lube? I haven't used lube in years. I don't use lube.
I don't like lube. I don't use lube at all.
You just get. You supposed to. Your man's supposed to be eating your booty. Your man, if he not, you don't need. You're not supposed to need no lube. Your man needs to be in there. Okay, like you should not. If you're in a relationship, what the fuck is lube?
Just a little bit, you know, just to prepare everything, you know.
I have
the rest takes care of itself.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I ain't fucking with no lube because that should be, you know, I still be needing to go back and forth. You know, it's just a lot. And then you burn them, and then they, you know, and then the worst thing I think a lot of tops don't realize is that you have to be delicate because, bitch, once the booty gets hurt, it's over for a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a
Give me a
wrap.
minute. Let me
It's
cool off.
You like, God damn, come on. And then it always seemed like it get hurt when you need it the most. And it's like you can't do that because you got to wait a time period for it to heal. And
Because y'all both excited. Y'all both trying to get it.
it'd be a mess. But so, yeah, I think bottoms don't get enough credit. Honestly, because they put in a lot of work. You know, like I can even say for my man, like he cleans all the time. And you know, there's me, bitch. I could just go to work, come home, bitch, and I'm dropping drawers, bitch. Suck my dick. And I'm like, I don't have to do all that. He got to make sure it's the shower, it's the this, it's the that. You know, and sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, nigga, you know, whatever.
Balanced diet. There's less relying on enemas. Also, you don't want to use enemas too extremely and too frequently because that can really mess you up. And the gut bacteria, microbiome, and all that stuff. You need like electrolyte. You can lose electrolytes from over enemaing or over fleeting, over cleaning. You know,
So you can basically dehydrate yourself. Then is what you're saying. Like dehydrate yourself.
Yeah. Basically.
Wow.
I mean, it messes with your pH balance. Yes, there's a pH balance there too. You know, they're safe. You can do them. And mind you, just an enema is a term for a traditional cleaning. It's not necessarily what we do for anal sex. What we do for anal sex is just really cleaning. An enema is like it goes all the way through past your second hole. That's an enema. Okay. But an enema is not really what you do. You don't have to do full enema. So when I say should you even be doing enemas, you don't have to. But if you're working in collaboration with your body, make sure you get enough fiber and other fats and protein, carbohydrates.
What about that pill? That pill, the pure pill.
Yeah, fiber supplements.
I heard about that.
Y'all said it was the what?
The pure pill that they promote a lot. I mean, has anybody tried that?
I heard it's all natural. It's just fiber. I mean, if you eat meat, definitely get that. Sorry, if you eat not enough fiber, definitely get that. I have a bias towards meat.
So if you take that, then how long would you have to wait before you could have sex? Like, what does it do?
Right.
Ooh, I say it just aids digestion.
You take it every day. It just like promotes it.
It promotes it. It doesn't. It's not a laxative. It gives you the fiber that people don't eat through fruits and vegetables. Basically. And it tells you what fiber, what plant is in the pill. It's all natural, I see.
Somebody asked a question. They said, have y'all ever met someone with a painting fetish? There's a lot of people that's into that.
Oh, wow. No.
It's called scat play.
The scat play?
I mean, the doodle got the voodoo.
No, I'm good.
I don't know.
I heard of it.
Scat
I know
play.
that doodle got the voodoo.
The girl, no, it's a lot of meth addicts love scat. You know what I mean? A lot of, that's a thing. That's a thing.
So meth and scat, somehow they correlate things.
Well, because people be so high, I feel like, and they just be ready for whatever, you know what I mean? So,
break boundaries.
And they don't prepare, you know, so it's whatever, I'm guessing.
But it's the fetish. Some people like musty hole and musty balls and, you know, shitty butts. And it's a whole, come on. There's a whole lot that goes into that.
I don't mind the actual hormone smell, you know, like a little bit of the day on you, but not no full gym session. Like that's too much.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Is there a such thing as much? Because I don't really like my man to smell like a bunch of Bath and Body Works. Yeah, I'm not really into that. I need you to smell like a boy.
That cherry blossom. You don't like that cherry blossom?
I've been told that before too. Like I've been told that. Just like go enjoy my day and come back and like get ready. You know what I'm saying? Like they like that. Like,
I mean, because there's like a natural.
I like being squeaky clean. I like being squeaky clean though. Like I put on my oils, lotion down. You know what I'm saying? I get right, but some people like it a little. You know what I'm saying? A little. I don't even know what to call it, but you know what I'm saying? A little spunk to it.
I don't mind if it's spontaneous, but I don't practice that.
Not a spunk.
A little bit of a little spunk. Right, a little something in it.
Okay. So that was some good. So what is our overall advice for the bottoms in the proper way to clean? So is it just diet or prepare in advance?
It's all the above. So it's not just diet, it's not just fiber either. If you just eat fiber, you're gonna have some problems too. Because remember, fiber doesn't digest; it just moves through your body. So it doesn't digest; it just helps aid digestion and moves things through you. And the thing is, with an enema, with fiber, the main key to most things is just balance. So you just need to have the proper balance of things. So seek out the proper balance, and you'll be able to work less during the process of, you know, you enemaing or filling yourself up in your rectal area. And also remember, poop is not in your rectum, which is the entrance. It's in your colon. So your second hole, that's where the poop is. So unless the guy is very well endowed, you should be fine.
Oh, all right. So let's move on to our other topic. Sean, you had a pretty interesting topic as well.
Yes, I did have an interesting topic for y'all. So I wanted to talk about the idea of gay death. So I was looking on the internet probably about a couple days ago, and I came across this term, and apparently it's a term that we've been using like over the past as far as the gay community. And it's an idea that after 30, gays die out. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the meme. It's like a meme of The Craft. You remember like the 90s show? Remember when that girl was having her hair was falling out and shit like that? They
Yes.
used that to describe the difference between somebody in their 20s versus their 30s as a gay man. So like, do you think that we really do age out after a certain period of time, like 30, or like, what are your thoughts about that?
There's definitely ages.
Well, there's ageism, but I don't feel like you age out.
I remember when I found out Armon was over 30 or 30 or up, I was shocked.
Yeah.
So I don't think you age out. It's just a stigma. I mean,
it's a stigma in our community, but I think it's because we like when you're in the lifestyle, it's like you live fast and die young. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it seems as though once you get 30 and up, you're actually at 25 and 26, 27, people start looking at you like you're old. Like you're only young until you're like 21, 22, 23. Right. You hit 25, it's like, oh my God, you're starting to get old. 27 and up, honestly, you can almost forget it. Then once you hit 30, it's almost like you're a granddad. I remember somebody was like, this boy was like reading me the other day over some Nicki Minaj shit. I think he's like 21. And he was like, you old man, you old. And I'm thinking, bitch, I'm 30. Like, I'm not even that old. But, you know, we're trained to feel like, oh my God, once I become 30 or 31, 32, 33, 34, whatever, all of a sudden I'm old. I honestly feel like I'm in the best space of my life, honestly. And now I know what I want more so in a relationship, out of myself. Like, I don't feel like you age out. I feel like you start to just move differently. Like, I'm now the gay who I don't have to go to the club all the time. I want to go on cruises. I'll get Airbnbs. It's like invite only, more exclusive. Like, but I got more money to spend on it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not one of those gays that's going to be at the Ratchet Club fighting. We're going to be somewhere where, you know, it's just going to be some boys that got, you know, that's doing some things, and it's very grown and sexy. Like, and I appreciate that. I don't go to the clubs as much, but I love a bar. And I'm okay with that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's, I don't know, but it's definitely a mindset. It's definitely a mindset. And people will judge you based upon your age, as if we all don't age.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like a lot of the younger generation, basically, they don't recognize how fast life actually goes. Like, I remember when I was 21, and then you turn around, you're like, damn, I'm 28. So does that make me old? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like instead of taking away or looking at that aspect of, okay, this is my age, let's look at the milestones that we came across during that time. I can say that for me at almost 30 versus me at 20, like, I have a lot more common sense, you know, life experience. And I think that if we started to really honor that as like a gay community, I feel like things like that wouldn't be so much of a problem. But at the same time, though, I see plenty of gays party themselves out all the time, like partying 4 or 5 times a week and all of that, you know, like that does take a toll on you. So maybe 30 did look at a certain period of time, you know, like death pretty much, you know?
That makes sense.
I get it.
Yeah.
Nobody else?
I get it.
So,
well, July, hold on. How old are you? How old are you, July? Because you're the youngest one, I think.
I'm 23. Yeah, 23.
Okay, but you are a guy that when we talk, you like older men.
I do.
Okay, so what do you think about the ageism? Is that a thing? Do you like them older? You like them younger? Like,
I like them older because they can teach me something. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes that's my age, I really can't cope with. I always felt like I had a more mature mindset than my age played, because of the gay lifestyle. So
so what do you mean by older? Like, how old is older for you?
So I'm 23 now. I don't think I would go above 35 right now.
That's barely old.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just a little older, not too much. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking
Hardly
sugar. I
older.
ain't talking sugar daddy older. You know what I'm saying? Just in general, though. Nobody in my age range. Like I wouldn't date anybody who's about 23, 24. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel
I
like
wouldn't date
35 is
nobody
the
my
age people just become older.
age. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
agree. I agree with that.
It's
too.
like you hit your peak and then you start to kind of like decline a little bit.
I don't
Or
want to
Or,
call
or,
it
main,
peak,
or
but
maintain. Or
No, I
maintain.
wouldn't like the
Maintain.
collide.
We're not right.
We'll say
wow.
maintain. I don't want to say decline, because I'll be there in a little bit.
Me too. I mean, I got a few years, but bitch, it's coming. But I just think the mindset changes. I mean, like from 30 to 35, it changes. I'm sure. I'll see when I get there, but definitely from 29 to 30 is a change. And 31, 32, 33, 30, you still got a little bit of time. I feel like, but at 35, for me, it's like that's when I feel like I want to figure out, okay, do I want to have children? You know what I mean? I'm thinking in that mindset. Okay, so what's next? Because I'm towards 40, and by the time I spin around, 40 will be here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And but I'm noticing nowadays, though, if you eat right, to Miles's point, and you take care of yourself, 40 is the new 30, and
Yeah.
40-year-olds are getting the boys. Here's the thing: it's something about having a little age on you. Maybe not for bottoms, but if you are like a top or a versatile, whatever. I just kind of feel like if you giving daddy vibes, like, and you giving like, it's money in the bank, it's
You're right
career,
there.
it's business, it's very much so, nigga. I can age until, and I could still get the young boys. Like, not a like for me, I'm not worried about it because I know I'm gonna be a fly ass old nigga.
So then what
It's like
about for the bottoms
masculine
though? Like, then what about for them?
I don't know.
It seems like masculine energies age out more. In general, masculine energies seem to age out later in life versus like feminine
That's
energies.
true.
Yes.
That is true.
And that
Yeah.
goes energies, like, so everyone.
I mean, because even with female models, like once they hit 30, they're considered old. Like that's
Right.
it. It doesn't matter how good you look. People still attach that age, to who you are, regardless of how you look when it comes to modeling, which is unfortunate,
And what I think is so interesting is like a lot of people don't talk about it, but like a lot of like you said, like the female energy ages out quicker. Like a lot of bottoms or seemingly more feminine figures in the relationship, like for gay men, like you guys relate a lot to women. And don't get a lot of credit, and women will be so pissed by saying like, you guys are men, you don't relate to women. But it's like, no, a lot of the same things that heterosexual women go through, a lot of gay boys go through the same thing. They get judged, they get the bottom shaming, like the masculine energy always to prevail. Like bottoms, like they have it a little bit harder. They do.
It's terrible.
They can't even age like the rest of like a top could age more than a bottom, and a bottom is like, oh bitch, your hole is burnt out, girl. You're been used for years. Like, you know what I mean?
It's done. Yeah.
It's done. You get a lot of stigma. You can't be a 40-year-old bottom.
Right.
Because people know, like, it's gonna be like, what? You know what I mean?
Unless you've already been, unless you're committed or something. And I think that goes back to the gay death. Like, if that is the stigma that we have, then it leads people once they hit 30, especially a bottom, to start like searching and looking, and it becomes kind of like a desperation act. Kind of like with women, like that internal clock that's ticking. So there is that similarity there,
I do know a lot of older bottoms, in the porn community, who are fine. They have nice bodies. They have nice butts. I would definitely top them, and I've topped before. Older men who are bottoms. So, and it's been great. I mean, but I get this thing with the generalization, the majority.
Okay, so what is the difference? Let's talk about it. What's the difference from topping an older man from a younger man? Is it better as older, or which one do you prefer, younger man or older man? Do you think one is better?
I definitely think, for me, I haven't taught much, but younger men, because older men, they're just like, you just slide right on it.
So it's basically just like Armon said.
Yeah.
Like you said, just loose.
Oh my God! You know what?
Whoa out.
I'm like, I thought you never done this before, because true. A lot of download guys hit me up. Thought you never done this before. I just slid right in. Like, oh my god.
But you know what? I don't want them too young. I need them like in the middle. Like I need them around my age.
When I say older, I mean 45. Like I like older men. I don't have a type. I like people.
Well, here's the thing about certain, like if you get someone that's a little too old, have you guys ever, since both Jalon and Miles, you guys have had relations with older men, have you ever found them to be a little bit more controlling as opposed to like a younger? Okay, because I've had my experience. I've dated somebody older and they were a little controlling, and I was like,
oh. Controlling because they know what they want. I feel like I haven't had that many.
That's exactly what it is. They know what they want. That's all.
They know, like they want the young mind.
They're more solid. They're more solid on their shit. They don't play that.
I can see.
I don't deal with too. I deal with people younger than 24 and under, 25, 26, 27. I'm not dealing with you. 28. I'm not dealing with you.
No, at too young, I'm not dealing with you because because you're not going to deal with me. You're in it for whatever you can get, baby, and you're going to move on. But at an intermediate age, though, I kind of feel like, because I'll be honest with you, once 25 and 30 hit, like those were growth spurts in my sexuality and what I was interested. I thought I was a freak at 19, 20, 21, 22, but then when I hit 25, I got a little freakier. Then when I got 30, I'm like, bitch, I'm turned up. So I realized that a little bit of the older men, like, bitch, they're really freaky. Like they can meet the freaky for me. And I feel like some of the younger boys, they think that they lit, but they don't really know what lit is yet. You know what I mean?
Like the lack of experience. So I mean, but it depends on what you're looking for the young boys for. Like, are you looking for like a good one time? Because if you are, you may or may not, depending on the situation, get what you want. But if you want to actually kind of like train them and help them to figure out how to treat you in a certain way, that you could do that too.
Oh, I like that word, train. Because now we're talking about, is that a fetish? Like, think about it. Like you see like a 23-year-old like Jalon, and then you see like a 30-year-old, 33-year-old. They're like, oh, well, he's hot, he's young, he's fresh. Let me get him. I can train him, and he can be my young boy that I bring around. You know what I mean? Do you ever feel like, older men look at you like a boy toy, like they could,
most
know what I mean? A hot little young boy toy with the fresh blood?
Multiple times, I just feeling like I felt like I was just being used, like fetishized, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For like different reasons. I mean, that too, but you know what I'm saying, as a whole. So yeah, I definitely have been through that.
So I think the ageism goes both ways. Like it goes for the older and it goes for the younger, because there's a lot of times that the younger guy, and I used to work at Joe's on Juniper in Atlanta, and I would see these old men, and they would like come and get these hot, and then they'd be these fine ass like young boys, and all the old men would have a hot young boy sitting with them. I'm like, oh, okay, so they like love the young guys, but it's no different than a lot of these straight men, these older white men, these older men. They go and get these 21, 22-year-old, 23-year-old women. You know what I mean? Like a lot of our lifestyle is parallel to the heterosexual community. They just don't really notice it because they don't look, but it's a lot of the same similarities. So I think it's really, really interesting. And I think that we definitely should stop the ageism on our community because it's not healthy.
We haven't had a big movement yet. The gay community is kind of behind compared to the straight community, I feel like, with certain things. Like you see the straight community accepting certain things like, Black women dating interracially and all that interracial stuff. I feel like the gay community is like a little behind with those certain things. But we'll definitely get there. We haven't had a big gay ageism movement because it's a big thing in our community.
Yeah,
well, I think that
Reds will realize.
I think that part of us being behind has a lot to do with us actually getting to the point now where we're able to be a little bit more out there and open without as much criticism, because of course it is there, but that's part of the reason why we're behind. So I mean, we can only do what we can do to catch up.
Definitely. Well, as long as we realize we're behind.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. No, of course there's reasons, always going to be reasons why, but as long as we realize the situation we're in, figure it out. We're the people here. We're gonna set the standard. Somebody has to set some sort of standard.
And then people have to be honest about what they like, and people just have to be open and normalize certain things.
Well, I think that there are certain representations in Hollywood that help to promote more of like the mature gay as opposed to the old gay death type of scenario. So people like Billy Porter, you know, people like Anderson Cooper, they're older gays and they look really nice. Like they're still fine, you know? So like when we get more of those in the groove, we'll start to see people maybe like loosen up on that stigma.
But see, those type of gays, they trigger me because you got the Billy Porter.
Trigger.
No, they do, because while they're pushing one narrative is great, right? But then the other narrative is like they push when you become successful, you know, you date white. You go interracial. You know what I'm saying? You never
every time.
You don't see it
black
with black.
Right.
You see every time there's a successful black gay male, whether it's a football player, let's talk about it, whether it's an artist, whoever it is, they seem to go get a white man or an Asian man. And it's like, this is success. This is when you've arrived. You become, you have this notoriety and you go and you get white. But then you pander to the ballroom scene, like Billy Porter. You pander to the you know, black people and their struggle. You know, you're in pose. You act like you identify with us, but then you go home and lay around with a white man. Like, girl, you don't sit with us. You really don't sit with us.
Which kind of speaks to kind of like how we as a gay community may mirror heterosexuals, because black men do the same thing. They'll trade they'll trade their black wife for a white woman, a younger white woman, because that does to, in some form or fashion, for them feel like they've made it, you know, kind of like trading an old car.
But my issue with that is there's representation. You have all these feminist movement. You have women all day long talking about that, but not enough gay men talk about these things. Like women, they want, I'll tell you about these women, it's particularly black women. They're going to have each other's back. They're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about how the fact that these men are no good and going to the white women and this, that, and third. There's a lot of conversation around interracial dating within the heterosexual community. Us, we don't say anything. And then when we get into these spaces, we get afraid to say something, or so many of us are, you know, handbags and hairstylists and assistants to some of these people that we're afraid to lose our token spot. So I'm not going to speak out for my community or have an opinion because, bitch, I'm in. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in Hollywood. So, girl, deuces to you queens, and I'm going to go get me a white man, and girl, and I'm going to act like none of this is going on. So I don't feel like we have enough, you know, voices for our community to lay it all out there. Like, listen, we deal with this shit too. Living in California, the black boys out here, there is no black scene like they have in DC, like they have in Atlanta, like they have in other places. Out here, the black boys love Asian men, Hispanic, Latin men, and white men. If they see two black boys together, they immediately think you're from like the hood. They like, oh, they must be from Richmond. They must be from East Oakland somewhere. Like you can't be from, you know, San Francisco, because all the men in San Francisco have an Asian man and they're successful and they're this and they're that, you know? So when I walk around with my dark-skinned man, they be looking at us like, well, where are you ghetto hoodlums coming from? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that out here, and it doesn't get talked about. And that, oh, I can't stand it. That really that triggers me. But yeah, because I deal with it all the time living in California, because we are so, you know, it's predominantly white and Hispanic and Asian and Indian. So none of the black boys want to be together. They're always looking for a white man or an Asian man. So that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, it's a thing. And we don't stand up for each other enough and talk about it. We just don't, because we're so afraid that we're not going to have the support, or we're so afraid that we're going to be, you know, called out or dragged or whatever. And I just feel like more of us need to be like, yo, we're our black men. And it's okay to say that. You know, why does it feel like we lose them to, you know, white people?
Well, there's a lot of shame put on our community, so there's not as many conversations. You know, black women have been getting bad promotion for so long now. You know, we just started getting promotion in general. So it's kind of like we just started getting promotion. Now it's like we want corrective promotion. Like we don't want this foolishness promotion. So it's kind of like all rushed kind of, you know, black women is kind of like a longer timeline. Gay people, it's like this kind of short ride, this kind of short crash. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's because people don't want to acknowledge, because so many people look at us as men, which we are, but they're just like, you're men. We don't have the same story as a heterosexual man. So we have our own story and our own things that we go through, but people don't feel like we do. So it's kind of like, you don't know our problems. Like they feel like we can't relate to certain things. So it's like, at the end of the day, they feel like you're a man, so you're privileged. So whatever. And that's not the case. That's really not the case. And that's part of the reason why I started this panel, because I'm like, we don't have the same luxuries as heterosexual Black men, and we don't have the same luxuries as white LGBTQ men.
Well, I feel like we
don't.
have it worse, to be honest. I feel like we have it
course.
worse, to be honest, because
Right,
there's a
bottom.
big stigma as far as with the African American community and being a gay male. You know,
Yeah.
there is that automatic stigma. So I wouldn't say that we have it better. We have it much worse. And if people don't see that, you know.
Straight people also have a map for their life normally, especially if they fit into the Christian religion thing. They have a map for their life planned out. Us, we're just figuring out. So it's up to people like us to kind of put the pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's now we getting deep. So we about to take it a step deeper. What we got?
All right, so we're gonna go into my topic, and what I noticed recently would you all date somebody who's HIV positive, undetectable? You know what I'm saying?
I have.
Exactly.
I have dated somebody that was positive.
Yeah, and I really feel like it's a huge misconception. I kind of feel like it's 50-50 within the straight community and the gay community. In the straight community, you have AIDS, period. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna die. That's just that. That's just how they look at it. You know what I'm saying? But in the gay community, I've noticed as of recently, it's more so, you know what I'm saying? Like, not a thing at all. You know what I'm saying? Which is no problem, but is it the new negative? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I definitely want to talk about it.
Well, I think it depends on how well informed you are, because my longest relationship was with an HIV positive man. And so initially when I jumped into the situation, yeah, I was a little bit nervous. But once I got educated on it and was figuring out what undetectable was and what kind of medications I could take for myself, I was cool with it. I feel like a lot of people in the heterosexual community, like they just assume HIV is AIDS because they don't actually look at the more updated versions of the information that we have, you know? Going back to stigma.
Yeah,
exactly.
That promotion.
However, I do feel like a lot of us in the gay community, because AIDS and HIV is so relevant in our community, and we don't like to acknowledge the fact that it is one of the leading cause of death for us.
50% of Black gay men will contract HIV in their lifetime.
Right.
50% of Black gay men.
So we try to normalize it and downplay it, and we shouldn't do that either. HIV positive is HIV positive, whether you're undetectable or not. You still have HIV. You still are HIV positive, and we need to make that make sense and let that sink in and normalize the fact that it is what it is. It doesn't mean that you're going to die necessarily. It doesn't mean that you're less desirable, but however, it is a handicap to some, and everybody does not have to accept the fact that you are HIV positive, and everybody doesn't have to want to be with you, you know, because you're HIV positive. Like, people should have a choice, and it is not negative. You are not negative if you are HIV undetectable. And I think that a lot of people in our community try to normalize it as if it's negative, and it's not.
Okay, so then let me ask you this question. So when should an HIV positive man tell someone that they're interested in that they have HIV? Like, when does that happen? When should they let them know? Should it be immediate, or like when?
Before intercourse. Like,
well, it can happen sooner if they ask.
That's it.
I agree. Well, for me, honestly, I think that I think you don't have to tell them. Like, if you're going on a date with somebody, you don't have to go and let somebody know that you have HIV. It's really not their business. But if you feel like it's getting to the next level, you guys are
sexual attraction.
It's getting sexual, and you feel like you can be more consistent. Because I'm not even saying relationship. I'm just saying consistent. Meaning there's going to be multiple gatherings of whatever it is, dates, family, sex, whatever. If there's going to be a certain time of consistency, you know, that talking phase, then at some point you need to let that person know that you're either HIV positive, whether you're undetectable or not.
Yeah. Okay. I think we also got to acknowledge that while being undetectable isn't the new negative, it's still not necessarily. You're positive, but you're undetectable. That is another status, you know, like you can be online or incognito or offline. Exactly. You're incognito. So that should be acknowledged. And because we all know that, okay, even if you're undetectable, you're still positive. Everyone knows that. What people don't know is that you're not going to get HIV by having sex with an undetectable person. That's not more. It's good to remember what we know. That's not, we already know that.
Right. But the new negative comes from a term of people just feel like it. Oh well, if I've just become undetectable, I can go sleep with everybody. I can
do what I want.
I can do what I want. And so that's why it becomes. So that's where the new negative terminology comes from, because it's like, okay, well, if I have it, it doesn't matter. Just let me get my levels down to where I'm undetectable, and I can still be on OnlyFans having raw sex with every fucking body and doing these group, you know what I'm saying?
You got the new negative, but then you got the same old people who aren't getting tested, going and having sex with raw people and don't know at all. So, I mean,
well, I think those people are dying though. Those people are getting those people are dying.
There's willful ignorance to the people who go and get their freaking meds checked and their levels checked and all that stuff, and they know more about their body than we would ever think to even question.
No, a lot of these girls that are running out here don't think like that are not getting tested. Those girls are those girls are dying.
So from my experience, when it comes to the ones that are positive, from my experience, it was to the point where this dude was reading off cell levels and different things like that. Like they have to and whenever somebody does get HIV, once they get their medication, they're put in the governmental system as somebody that has it. So they have to regularly do those types of things and, just know what their status is and what they have going on.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is the HIV thing for me is always just one of those touchy subjects, because I understand where it's like you don't want to make a HIV positive person feel ostracized. However, you don't want to make a HIV negative person feel like they can't be proud of their status either. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of times where it's like, if you're HIV because I remember there was a time on Facebook where for a long time, everybody would go get tested, and they would post, I'm negative, and people would get dragged. Like, why are you posting your status? Why are you showing off? And it's like, no, I'm proud of my status. Like, I don't and then it's like the person that comes out that says they're positive, it's like, oh, they get 1,000 likes and everybody's so supportive. And then the person that says that they're negative, it's like, oh, you're being shady. No, bitch, I'm not being shady. Right. Everybody, a lot of things happen, you know what I mean? So we don't know how a person became negative, but we do know people that are out here practicing safe sex and being cautious and being smart as they can, and they're still being negative, they should be celebrated and highlighted. And even if you don't want to do it, they should be proud enough to say, hey guys, I'm negative and I'm proud, and you being positive, you shouldn't be proud about that though. You can be proud to yourself. Sorry, you could be proud to yourself, but why do you have to feel proud about that? Why do you have to be highlighted that you are? It's such
a big thing in our community.
It's the same way it was back in the 80s and the 90s, though.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm proud about.
People are still getting shamed the same way like the 80s and the 90s, though, and that's what the problem is to me.
Well, I think the pride for me comes into the fact that, I have done some reckless things. I've been in compromising situations, and I've also grown up in a family where, people always said that, I'm going to get AIDS one day, where, the pastor tried to say, well, I'm going to die with AIDS. And then if you move to Atlanta, you're going to get AIDS. So when you pass certain milestones and you get to a point where it's like, wow, I'm living my life, I didn't become another HIV statistic, because that's why I don't have a lot of girlfriends. You have your fish friends on certain days. Everybody's cool. Then when they get mad at you, you an HIV infested fag. The straight men, the trade, they'll call you AIDS fag. Like everybody feels like underlying that we are virus carriers. So when you're able to be like, you know what, I'm not a statistic, it makes you feel good, because there's so much pressure on you to, become a statistic. So when you can be like, bitch, I'm gay, I'm proud, I'm doing my thing, and bitch, no, I'm not like what you motherfuckers think that I am. And here it is. You know what I mean? It's like all of us are not HIV positive, but contrary to what people might think, they think a lot of us are. So sometimes you got to let it be known, because the only stories you do hear are the ones of the people that are, okay, I'm doing my coming out story of being positive. I'm doing this. I want everybody to know I'm positive. There aren't enough stories of people saying, listen, I'm 30 years old, I'm 35, I'm 36, I'm 40, and I lived a reckless lifestyle, but I was smart and I wrapped it up, and you can do it too. And I'm HIV negative, and you can be that way too. Like there's not enough people saying that, but there are a lot of people out there saying, if you're negative, it's okay. It's not a death sentence. Just become undetectable. You can't pass it, which I understand that too, but it also sounds like a little bit of an enabling mindset to an already promiscuous community. So for me, I just want to be the voice of, listen, You can have fun, but be smart as well, because being HIV negative is great. Positive, you can become undetectable. That's great. However, we cannot act like that's still not an inconvenience.
Definitely.
It's still an inconvenience. And my thing is, I don't want to shame, but at the same time, if we're going to promote HIV positive and health and wealth in that, we should also promote health and wealth in being negative.
Definitely. You're right. We should promote both.
Yeah.
But can you see how it's kind of like, you're negative in your heart. So why does it matter what other people are saying? It's our positive brothers and sisters who need the love, really.
Because maybe it's promoting that.
Hurt. Like people have told me I'm positive. What'd you say?
Maybe it's the promotion that other people actually get tested. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing someone that is negative. You know what I mean? Like that's actually, you know what I'm saying? Sexual awareness, like awareness to the topic. So I think it's only just going to add to the, the routine of people actually going to get tested more often. You posting your stuff. I know if I were to see more people getting sexually tested on my timeline, I would feel more influenced to go do so as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's just all.
The thing is, positive people and negative people, I feel like need different things. You're negative. People are talking about how gay people are positive. Okay, fine. That's what they're talking. But are you positive? No, you're negative. They're doing stuff. They don't even get tested. But it's our positive people who I feel like need the love more so. So I get what everyone's saying.
Definitely.
Let people know that we're not the ones who are really in trouble right now. It's the straight people who aren't getting tested.
But we are, because we are the gay community. We're not the straight community. So for someone to be negative at a, you know what I'm saying, in our community is something to be applauded to. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I feel like if we
but it doesn't necessarily
normalize either way, like if a person's positive, they're positive, these are things they need to do. A person negative, they're negative, these are things they need to do. If we do that all the way around, I think people would be more forthright about who's positive and who's negative and what we need to do. I think that there's a lot of people running around that are HIV positive. They're just simply afraid to take the test. So they just run around spreading whatever they're spreading,
Well, can you admit the HIV positive people should, I feel like they need more love than someone who's negative. Yeah, they talk, but in your heart, you're negative. I feel like someone who's HIV positive needs more support, more love around them.
I agree. I definitely agree with that, because you don't want them to feel ostracized from a community. But at this point, it seems like, being HIV negative is the anomaly. Like that is the one that, like, there are more HIV positive people than negative. You know what I mean? It feels like it starts to feel that way. I had a circle of friends. I'm not going to lie to you. Out of 10 of us, I was the only negative one.
Wow.
I've
never experienced that.
Live long enough. You know what I'm saying? But and there is a, like, where majority of the friends are positive, right? And so it's like when you're the negative, you become the minority. And so I'm like, I got to a point that it was like a lot of people were, turning up positive around me. It was a certain time in my life. A lot of people. So I was getting afraid, because I'm like, is just this what's going to happen to me? Because going back to Jalan's point, it was like, it was almost inevitable. So it wasn't a matter of like, am I? It was more of a, well, when? And I remember, I had this guy, he was a mentor to me. He said, and he was positive. And he said, well, girl, you know what you should do? Just catch it so you don't got to worry about it no more. Because I think that's for me, that's at the back of all of our minds. Like, if you're negative, it's at your mind. Like, am I going to be positive one day? Every time you have, like am I gonna, like, you would be lying to your, I wouldn't believe you if you told me you don't think about that at least once a day, like, or when you have intercourse, where you meet somebody new, like, if you're negative, like, bitch, am I gonna be positive one year? Like, am I gonna go get tested and then one day, bitch, I'm gonna
scared.
I'm gonna try to prepare yourself.
Yeah, for real.
I feel like we all go through a time where we're like, all right, girl, what if I get it? How would I do it? How would I handle this? How would I tell my mom? How would I prepare? So just in case it happened, we know, okay, well, bitch, it's part of the lifestyle.
Because it's exactly. We feel it's so inevitable.
Well, I do feel like people that
what you think? What you think? Let's talk about it.
They need a lot more support. They are ostracized. I think that the more that people are forthright about it, again, the more that we'll be able to help those people that are HIV positive. That way, when people do have that, like in the back of their head, like, okay, this could be a possibility, you know, that there is a community of people willing to still accept you, you know, because those people do feel like, at least from the experience that I had when I was dating someone that had those issues going on, you know, you kind of feel isolated and lonely. And for you to be dating somebody that isn't, you can only get but so close because they don't know your personal story, like how it feels to actually have that going on. And I feel like, you know, they do need more support.
Right, definitely.
Okay, so let's talk about dating somebody that's positive. What is that like for you mentally as a negative person going into that? Like, how does that relationship work?
Well, I feel like at first, I mean, it was definitely something that I struggled with just because I wasn't informed. So when that happened, I'm a big information head anyway. So I'll start researching and trying to figure things out or whatever. And for me, once I started figuring it out, I was getting tested every 3 months. And as I was getting tested, I was going to that clinic and getting the information. And I just feel like it has a lot to do with knowing your information and your facts.
So you were never mentally preparing yourself in your mind, like, have I gotten it? Or did you mess around with them before you knew?
So no, I was told way before. We actually started out as best friends before that situation happened. And so I knew about that going in. So I did have that advantage. And I did think about that. Yeah, I did think about that. But at the time I was engaged and I loved that person. So it was like, you know, I had such a deep connection for that person where we were both prepared on both sides because I was also taking prep. But if it was to happen, I don't know. Like for me, I feel like everything's meant to happen the way that it happens. Not to say that I'm not going to protect myself, but at the same time, you know, everything's meant to happen the way it happens.
So you were in a relationship where you were so in love and you was almost like, I will catch it with you. Like if I had to do it, I would just be here with you.
Yeah, we were together for like 5 years and we took the precautions, but at the same time, if it was to happen, then it just was what it was.
Wow.
Interesting.
I mean, but that's just the realistic fact of it. When you decide to date a person that is HIV positive, that's what you're saying to yourself, whether you want it or not. You're saying that if you catch it, it's on you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Who, child? Does anybody else have anything on this topic? Miles, you're defensive.
What I'll say is with HIV and STDs, it's an information game. Like we put not everything is neutral until we give a meaning. So HIV and stuff like that we need to redefine these things in our brain. So that's what I say. Information, just like Sean said, somebody pulled out all their levels in T, whatever. They know everything. So it's the information. You just need to know, and I feel like people will become more comfortable over time. It is not going to happen overnight.
Somebody asked a good question. Somebody said, well, why is protection not being utilized? Well, here's my thing. I don't feel like if I'm in a relationship and I'm married to my husband, I don't feel like I want to have to use protection. Straight people don't have to use protection. They damn near don't use it anytime. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, protection should be utilized, right? But I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I don't like to fuck raw because I prefer raw fucking.
Right.
That's just the fact. So a lot of people don't want to use condoms. I mean, you got to think about it. Who likes to use a condom? And especially even sex, while it's physical, it's more mental for people too, especially for me. So it's condom creates a barrier as well. So when you take off that condom, it's almost like another level of intent and I don't know. To me, it heightens the chemistry of the session for me. You know what I'm saying?
That much closer. Yeah.
You that much closer. Now, you put yourself at risk. It is what it is. But to answer the question, I mean, who likes to use condoms? People don't like to use condoms.
I don't use condoms. I think if you're in a relationship and you've been in that relationship for a while, you don't use condoms. And anybody that says that they do, they're more than likely lying. Right. You get comfortable and you just have sex and you feel like having sex. Same thing for the painting situation. Like you'll accept a little bit more from that relationship and you'll become more lax just because y'all are together. I mean, it's as simple as that. I've never heard of any couple that still uses condoms after being together for a long time.
But let's talk about this though now, and because one of my friends was talking about this, and he is very big HIV activist, this and the third, and he was telling me that research shows that most people that become HIV infected are people in relationships, not people in one night stands, because typically when on the one night stand, you're like, all right, let me use the condom. I don't know you, but it's in the relationship where you're, or that reoccurring partner that you trust, right? That goes out and cheats, or that's got a piece on the side that's fucking with no condom, that brings it back to you, and all of a sudden now you're positive because you've been fucking with no condom. You trust them, but then somebody stepped out. See, you're more likely to use a condom with a bitch you don't know. More people are. But that more consistent partner, you feel me? You're like, all right, I'm not going to use the condom. But what about that time that, because most gay men, let's just talk about it. People are not really, nobody's really faithful. There's a little bit of cheating that goes on with a lot of gay relationship. Niggas be fucking other people, or they're adding people into the relationship. They're doing group shit. Like, things happen. And so with that being said, typically people ended up contracting HIV through their partners. So that's something to think about as well. That's true. But for me, this is what I suggest. What I do, me and my partner, before I decide I'm going to seal the deal and be in a relationship with you, first of all, I'm asking, do you have HIV off the rip? Yeah. You tell me yes, you tell me no, whatever the case may be, that's fine and dandy. But then I'm also going to need you to go get a test, and I'm going to get a test too, and we're going to lay out the paperwork, and then boom, we're going to get periodically tested for every 6 months, and then boom, it's going to start to annually. So we get tested yearly. Me and my man, we've been getting tested annually. So we do that, and we have the conversations. We're not afraid to have the conversations, and we lay it all on the line. I've been burned. I've had STDs. How many STDs have you had? Let's talk. Like, don't be afraid to tell me that you've done it, that you've been around before. I'm not going to judge you, because, bitch, we need to be able to have that conversation so we're comfortable enough to understand. And also, I've told my man, I said, listen, if you ever cheated on me, all I want you to do is just use a condom. I said, let me tell you something. If I ever cheated on you, not that I have an intent to go fuck somebody and cheat on you, but if I ever physically wanted to go cheat on you, please have enough respect for me to use a condom. Because I said, if I ever cheated on you, I would have enough respect for you to not put you in harm's way and sleep with somebody without a condom. I wouldn't do it like that. You gotta have those conversations, because you have to also let them know, listen, you might cheat, but please use a condom if you do.
We're all human, so yes, you might cheat. It's a human thing in all the communities.
I like the open communication. Yeah.
You have to, and you can't think, if the moment you think that your man might not cheat on you is the moment you fucked up.
Right. That's so true.
Keep it in the back of your head.
You got to put it somewhere.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right, so let's move on to the next topic. I don't know how I'm gonna try to pull this stuff up, but let's move on to something a little bit lighter. Let me see if I got it here. Little Nas X says it's something so sexy about who don't want you. Like, damn, you really don't want nothing to do with me? Is Little Nas X toxic, or is this a fact?
That's called toxic. No,
that's definitely
not
toxic.
Like, if you have self-love, you're not finna go for that. Why would you want somebody that don't want you? No.
For real, I need my man to want me 10 times more than I want him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
that's just how it is.
But is he lying though? Is he lying?
At the same time, he kind of has a point, because I've been in some situations like that, so I can definitely get it. I get it.
So
it's
for
toxic
me,
stuff.
I feel like it's the thrill of the chase. Like, it's one thing to have the thrill of the chase type of situation where you're, you know what I'm saying, like pursuing the person, y'all are pursuing each other, playing cat and mouse or whatever. But if you absolutely don't want me, then I don't want you. You're not on my level. We're not on the same vibration. Like, I don't want you. I feel like that has a lot to do with just self-esteem in general. Like, I wouldn't want somebody that absolutely didn't want me at all.
So he says it's something sexy, and I think that it is, because I agree with him though.
Hard to get.
Like, it's like, oh, because it's almost like he's saying, bitch, I know I'm lit. I know I know I'm not ugly. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want me, like, bitch, like I'm lit, like I'm fly, like you don't like me, bitch. Okay, now I want you, because a person like him, that can probably get anybody he wants just based off his career. When he finds an individual that is not interested in him, that probably makes him more intrigued, because it's like, damn, like, you that dope where you don't want my dope ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, I'm fine, I'm fly, I'm rich, I'm lit, or whatever it is you are in your life, and you find somebody that can kind of match you, and they kind of like, yeah, you cool, but I'm not into it. You gonna want that motherfucker.
I mean, is that not a form of insecurity though?
No, I think men and masculine energies are wired to chase.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that way.
So
that's correct right there.
It's not cool. I don't think you should be really to each their own. If that turns you on, I get it. We're humans, we're animals, nature, caveman days, hunting. Yes.
Guys love to chase. They love to chase, and then once they get it,
It's the-
and once they
But
get
as
it,
long
and
as
it's
there's a
like,
potential for you to get caught, like if you absolutely have no interest in me, I don't see how you would want a person like that. Like the cat and mouse game has to be active. We can't just.
I mean, not necessarily that. Maybe they're just not paying you any attention. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily saying that they don't want you.
Right.
Maybe they're just not giving you that attention.
People become whole fans of like models and Kardashians, people who aren't like creating music or anything. So they become fans and obsessed with their stand pages for people who don't really do, people could say don't contribute anything. So imagine someone who's realistic. I mean, it's normal to like chase after them, be excited by them, or be intrigued.
I think that, you know, if somebody is like really interested in you, you know, and sometimes it's like seems super easy, you're more likely to kind of blow them off, especially if you're at a level in your life where you feel like you have options, right? So it's just kind of like, if there's no chase, if it's an easy 9 times out of 10, you've already caught it and did it and moved on. If a person is super clean, men are not really into that like that. Like, I don't feel like that. If you're too accessible and too available all the time, motherfuckers will be like, all right, I'm over it.
I mean,
Especially
that's why you need a little toxicity in your relationship.
You do. And I realized what dealing with a lot of bottoms, like if you bottoms again have there are like kind of women in a sense, like could you imagine if you had a man that was just so weak and just, let me do this, baby, I want to be here, I want to do this, I want to do, you can be like, this man, can he not answer, can he make me feel like he cheating sometime?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because you're not gonna, like, a lot of, like, you want to be respected, but at the same time, you don't want to feel like you can walk all over your nigga. Not a nigga that's dominating you in the bedroom. You want to feel like, think about it. If you're letting this nigga fuck you and he's dominating you, are you going to want to feel like he's a bitch? No. In everyday life, like he's just weak? You're not going to want that kind of nigga fucking you, period. No. And most of those men, you like to chase a little bit because you know that nigga put you in your place or tell you to chill or relax or back up, back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand, like, I like you, I love you, but get the fuck out of my face right now. And if he didn't tell you that, get the fuck out your face right now, you'd probably be like, this nigga, I don't like that nigga. He kind of soft. You probably looking at the nigga that don't really want you. The toxic ex.
I mean, maybe boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like a dude with boundaries, but not the toxic ex.
You need a little bit of it, just a little bit.
So you're telling me, John,
everybody has toxic tendencies in their relationship.
Yeah, so you're telling me you just want, so you want your top to just sit here and just be this emotional, sensitive, available, all in your face, man.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
So, no. I've had my experience with that. I mean, it was nice for a little bit, but it can be too much sometimes. It's a balance. I feel like it's really a balance because I can be emotional, you know, and be sensitive and stuff, but I don't want somebody that's just like a bleeding heart all the time. Like, there's a time and a place for it, but not absolutely to the point where you don't want me at all. Like, damn, you know?
Right. But I think I don't think it's like, oh, I don't want you. It's like, I like you, but I'm not finna give you all that.
Exactly. That's what I'm going with.
I'm not finna give you all that. Like, I'm gonna entertain you. You gonna know what's up, but like, it's not that. Like, I'll get to it, but you know, I'm busy too.
Right.
You really got to give the energy that's given normally. Just get the same energy.
Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to try to pull this other clip up. So this is the clip that I pulled from Catfishing. Catfish. Now, bitch, mind you, when I first seen this episode, now I'm gonna be a little shady here. The guy on the episode reminds me of this person that I know that be on YouTube, but it's bitch. But anyway, that was
Wait.
Yeah.
in like 10 years. But anyway, okay. So anyway, the guy was on. Here's a little synopsis. All right, I'm gonna try to pull it up. Hopefully it works. So the guy was on. Catfish. I can't play it all because MTV, Viacom, they will shut my shit down. So I'm gonna try to play as much as I can. So he was talking to another individual out in Vegas. I don't remember where the original guy is from, but he was talking to a boy from Vegas, and he felt like the boy loved him. They had never really talked on the phone. He was always like, but he was wiring him money and, just kind of paying his bills and sending him shit. And he was doing it through a girl, like his sister. And so he called Catfish and they found the guy. And it turned out that the boy wasn't a catfish. The boy was himself. However, he was just using the other guy because he felt like the guy was just an easy lick. He was like a trick. So I want you guys to see how this kind of unfolded, and then I want to talk about what your guys' opinions are regarding the matter. So bear with me. I'm going to try to share this screen, and I'm gonna try to. Okay, y'all can hear me now. Okay, boys, what y'all got to say about that? It's the pandemic for me.
Okay.
That's terrible. Am I echoing?
Yeah, you're echoing.
Oh, is it
Yeah, you're
echoing?
I think we are.
Oh, hold on. Let me stop the screen share. Let me turn this down. Okay. If we are echoing, okay, we good now?
I think so.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
So
Yes,
go ahead. You go ahead.
No. I lost my point.
But I was just like, as far as that, so I did watch the episode and I felt really bad for him. I feel like the dude took advantage of him because he was HIV positive. First of all, coming from a mental health professional, he needs counseling. Both of them need counseling, to be honest. I feel like, the darker skinned dude, he was just taken advantage of because he didn't deal with his issues. I think also on top of that, he had just went through a breakup, like a serious breakup. And I feel like the other younger guy took advantage of him. Although, after the first time that you sent money, even if you were going to be gullible, did you not want to see him on FaceTime or see him like, you know what I'm saying? Like certain things are a little bit more common sense.
And the boy said he got a car, but I believe he only received $500. So you received $500. That's your sugar daddy, but you only got $500. Like that's rent. Like what are you talking about for some people? Like I mean,
he's 21 though, right? I think he was 21, so that's probably a lot of money for him.
And in Vegas, it's very inexpensive.
I don't know, sugar daddy.
Well, here's what I think.
Y'all, $500 is not sugar daddy status. That's Splenda.
Listen, when you're out here sending boys money across the country because you tricking off, you get what you get. It's the pandemic, and it is what it is. He know what he's doing. This ain't the first time he spent money. This is the first time he put it on a shelf. Yeah, he looked how he looked, and he know how he looked. And he has the HIV, which he uses. I wouldn't even tell you. Didn't have to tell that man that. Why would you? Y'all are not in nowhere near together. So that man is already broken. And like you said, Sean, he need to go to therapy and counseling for himself because you falling in love with a man all the way in Vegas, telling him that you got HIV and sending him hundreds and hundreds of dollars through a friend. That's your fault. That's your problem. Now, on the other hand, the little queen, she was shady. She got on TV and made herself look like she wasn't that cute. She wasn't that cute. However, she was 21. She did what needed to be done. That's what they do.
It's survival for some people.
It was cute. She felt cute. She got, that's what you do at 21. She'll feel bad about it at 25, 26. When she get 30, she'll be like, damn, bitch, I was wild. But she lived. I can't really be mad at her. She fooled out. I fooled out at her.
Same shit. I agree.
I've done shit too. That's what happened. And so,
I agree.
But the bigger question for me is, a lot of gay men are doing this that feel like they're not as attractive, that feel like they're immune compromised. Do you feel like you are an easy target, to be got tricked off with money, or are long distance relationships can they happen? Can they work? I mean, are they a thing?
They can work. They can work.
So
it just
why
takes
do
My
effective
experience
communication.
the longest- I mean, it depends on the time. Like, if y'all have a plan,
if you never hang out, you never meet
together,
them.
Let me ask another question. Let me rephrase the question. It may not be to you guys or whatever, but majority on average on average, means majority of the people, the majority of people feel this way. An ugly man, if he's an unattractive man, will he have to pay for sex? Will he have to pay for a relationship? Will he have to pay for love? That man,
No.
to the majority, is
have to.
not attractive.
You don't have to.
He doesn't have to. But the thing is, there's, youth is a form of like currency almost. So people want youth, but aren't expecting to give up some currency. It doesn't make sense to me. It's an even exchange, I think.
It's an even.
So he should be real with himself. Like, you got to be self-aware. Like, you want to date someone for love. First of all, you're not supposed to be sending them money, and you never met them before, and you don't plan to meet them, and they're not a real person to you. They've never had a conversation with you, never FaceTime. You're a fool at that point. And, that guy wasn't honest. I've had people send me money, definitely, but I'm honest with them. They know who I am. I know who they are. At this point, we FaceTime. We've done live streams together. I've had time with them, on the internet. But they know who I am. I'm honest with them. They know it's not, oh, we're in love. You know what I mean? So there's a way to do it, and that guy went about it all wrong, and it's disgusting, honestly.
So is this man attractive?
No,
Not to me.
I mean, that's an easy no. Maybe to somebody else, but no.
Okay. So
Somebody.
Okay, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you look like that, you're not attractive to me. If I'm just,
you know what's funny about that is,
He's
if you
attracted to
guys caught
somebody.
the rest of that, he talks about how he was giving up his own money and falling behind on everything else in his personal life to give this dude money.
that's what I'm saying.
That's just
right. So this is my question.
People need some morals. If someone's doing that, you gotta say
He's
no.
gullible. He's gullible.
But let's be real here. There's men that look like this. I know a person that look like this, or they'll look like this in 5 years. I swear to God, I know a person that look just like this. Will he have to be in these positions for the rest of his life? Let's be honest. He's not going to pull one of us on this platform. He will want one of us, but he might have to pay. Let's start being honest.
Oh, for me?
Let's be real.
I'm not trying to get you shut down, so never mind. But if you look like that and you don't have any resources for me, honestly, I'm not interested. I'm gonna keep it real.
So what is he supposed to do? He looks like that and he's HIV positive.
Well, I
What else
think
can
he
he
needs to
do?
look for somebody on his level. Go to a support group. Meet somebody from support group that also
Pay
has
for it.
HIV. Or like, just go out and meet.
Wait a
somebody
minute,
on your
Sean.
level.
So he got to go meet an HIV
I'm
positive
just
man?
saying, I'm
Oh,
just saying,
shit.
Go somewhere where you're able to
No.
find a commonality with somebody that's more realistic. Because when even before this whole, even before this part of the episode came on, I saw who he was going after, and I'm like, they don't even look like they match together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he just wasn't being realistic. I feel like he was dealing with his own mental health issues, like depression.
shame on that young man, though. Shame on that young man. You do not do that. Like, you gotta have some honor,
That's wrong.
some morals. At least he's doing an immoral thing.
It's etiquette to finessing. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
mean,
some
but think
etiquette.
about the
Yeah.
society that we live in, though. I mean, city girls, music like that.
I get it. I've been 21. I'm 24. I get what it is to do this. Actually,
I feel like this. I feel like you a 40-year-old man or however you are, and you using a picture
You know
from
better.
3-4 years ago because you trying to catfish the boy with that picture right there. You don't, and that's heavily
he
edited.
ain't catfishing nobody with that picture. Let's stop
I
I'm
it.
mean,
just saying.
it looked the same. Just
But it looked the
probably-
same, but you trying to give a little bit more of an energy
He
first
look a
of all.
little, he look a little better right there.
You look a little bit, and that's a younger and older and slimmer picture. But my thing is, you have to understand, you don't have any money. Really, you're living paycheck to paycheck. You don't have a slim waist, so you're not the most fit.
Conventionally attractive.
You're not really attractive like that, and so you will have to pay. You will have to pay in this situation. So you need to vet out the people that you're paying for. You don't blindly send money. You know what I'm saying? You understand that, hey, I may have to pay for certain things, but I'm going to make sure that my money doesn't go to a waste. At least I'm going to talk to the nigga face to face before I send the money.
Please.
You get what I'm saying? At least the nigga, I'm going to fly the nigga out or, whatever.
You guys owe the conversation.
Yeah,
Agreed.
but I'm not giving out no cash to the sister through through Cash App or whatever, and I'm not receiving nothing back. But also, I don't want to act like that this man can just go out and pull anybody he can, because he can't.
You can't.
It's going to have to move a little bit differently from the average person.
We need some self-awareness, and he's not conventionally attractive. Emphasis on conventionally. I'm not saying he's not attractive, but through the way I've been brainwashed, through the way I'm conditioned, he's not attractive to me. And that's
He's
what
not ugly. Yeah, he's not
I mean,
ugly.
but he's
But
not a lost cause.
I get what
feel
you're
like
saying.
a little bit of self-care and like self-love would help
Yeah.
that a little bit and give him a chance to actually find somebody appropriate.
And it's not because he's fat. I've been with fat men who smell just nice.
That is kind of in. Well, the dad bod is kind of in right now.
I'm talking about fat men. I've been with fat men before, and they're amazing. Amazing. I don't have a problem with that. It's more so his vibe. He's not giving me anything.
He's giving me depressed vibes.
He's
Like
depressed. He's sad. And I understand he's in a hurt position
mental
here.
health issues.
This is
Like,
not
you
his
can tell.
dating
he
page.
need help.
And see, here's the thing. See, this is women. See, a lot of women are saying he's not ugly. Women like men that look like this. This is women. This would be a good husband for women all day. A lot of women have ugly ass husbands, but in the gay world, if you're gonna look like this, you need to have some oomph about yourself, some confidence, some swag. Like, you know what I mean? Women will take a nigga like this all day long.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's probably easier
Looks
to
wise.
keep a man like that.
Not
You know
that-
what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody really checking for that. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
it's
They're
easier
lying. I
to
don't take him like this. Oh my gosh. Like, he needs some self-confidence. It's not about just his looks. It's about the sadness in his eye. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like, yeah.
Yeah.
so it's more than just your. To me, if you smell good, you don't even have to dress super nice, but you got a good energy to you and a good vibe. I'm telling you, it's not really about. He looks average. Like he's cool, but like his energy is like kind of low. It's like he needs some psychologist, like a therapist. That's what it is, or help or something. But we all do to a certain extent, So.
Okay.
Yeah. So with the last thing I want to add to this. So, what do you think is more in our community? What matters more, looks, status, or bank account?
Status and maybe status. I'll say status.
Status more for you?
I'll say status.
I would say bank account.
That's it.
Bank account.
That's tough. I want to say it starts with looks, then bank account, then status. Yeah.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah, and they could all be interchangeable, but I think looks first with the gay community, looks.
Yeah.
And then it's like we get to the money because people are stupid to where they don't care about what you're doing with your life. They just care about how you look.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, if nobody has anything else to add, I think we did a good show today. Does anybody have any other topics or anything that they would like to add?
No.
I don't have nothing else to add. I'm good.
Any closing words? You guys go ahead and do your closing.
Oh, thank you for having me, Armon. Yes, I appreciate you.
Where can they find you? All the good stuff. What do you do? And because you got the OnlyFans and all that stuff.
Okay.
And, yeah.
First, let's start with that. OnlyFans, Miles_ is perfect. Everything else is Miles Spears. Google me, Miles Spears. You'll find me.
What are we getting on the OnlyFans? Is it nudity or is it ASMR? Or?
For me, you're gonna get a lot of solo work from me. I don't really collaborate with other people too much. Not because of necessarily choice, but I just don't want to do that. But so I haven't really collaborated with too many people. So it's really just me doing a lot of things, all types of toys and basically anything I could do with myself. Basically,
like what kind of tell us, you got 400 500 people watching. Somebody might subscribe right now. Like, are you sticking fruits and stuff in your ass? Or
I will take requests, so I can make private videos. We can do live streams together. All types of things. So I don't want to be public. I do take requests. My Cash App, Miles Spears. Everything is pretty much Miles Spears. Twitter, Instagram, and then OnlyFans. You'll see the links there. Miles Spears. If you want me, you'll find me.
Okay, there, Miles Spears. You said what you said.
All right, y'all. It was nice meeting everybody today. Thank you again for having me, Armon. My Cash App is once again $T as in T-shirt, Sean, SHAWN. My Instagram profile is _E Ali ALI. So you can find me on all platforms with that same name.
Okay, Jalon.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. Also, my Instagram is Jalon. Just my name up here, but just with one N. Yeah, it was fun up here with y'all. I hope to do some more. So, yeah.
Yes, and listen, guys, this has been a phenomenal show. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for dealing with the little issue that we had, technical, but you guys were great. I had a great time. I hope you guys, the viewers that are watching, learned something. We talked about clean bottoms, dirty bottoms. You know, we talked about HIV stigma. We talked about being cute, not being cute. We talked about toxicness, and we're always accepting different topics. So if you guys want to have a topic for the boys chat, please email me or DM me, and we can talk about it. And thanks for, you know, listening to the show. So we will see you on another episode of Boys Chat. Let me find the banner to get us out of here. But thanks, guys. See ya.